Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 90 of the Lorethrough, the big 9-0. And true to, standard Gunch's boat fashion, I forgot to read an item description. This time it was Golden Vow, which, to be fair, I sort of looked over because I think we found a version of it before, but let's read its description all the same. An incantation of Erdtree worship. And sure enough, in the symbol there, it's got one of those Erdtree sentinels that we've seen in statues all over the place. Though nobody actually wears armor exactly like that. Kind of interesting. Increases attack power and defense for the caster and nearby allies. Hold to continue praying and delay activation. This incantation has been taught to knights of the royal capital for generations, and knights sent on distant expeditions lean on it as a source of courage. So very neat. And there is an Ash of War version of it that you get much earlier, if I recall. Yeah, Golden Vow right there. Skill passed down from antiquity among the knights of the capital, raise armament aloft, and pledge to honor the Erdtree in battle, granting self and nearby allies increased attack power and defense. So, there you go. That is an option. Let's get to it. I would love to get to Volcano Manor today, and we're going to have to go fast if that's the case. So you can head up the hill here. I kind of cut the episode off last time, and I probably shouldn't have. So maybe I'll do a little bit of reworking. But let's go talk to Patches, who kicked us off of a cliff last time.
Oh my! Well, here you are again. Oh, so sorry for that. I meant to warn you, but whoops, there you went. Despite my best intentions, I've done you wrong. I have. But here you are, standing tall and proud. All's well that ends well, eh? And my warning was spot on. You tell me different. Stay clear of Volcano Manor. End of discussion. I heard the brutes there hunt tarnished like animals.
So he's telling us to calm down.
Stay clear of Volcano Manor. End of discussion. I heard the brutes there hunt
Yep. But there must be a reason he wants us away from Volcano Manor. Something that he has yet to gain, or has to gain from it. Or perhaps he's trying to stop from losing something. Alright, we're going to work our way up here. And there is a grafted scion. Ooh. Well, you know what? Let him do his stompy thing. I wonder if we can block this. We can. Very silly. The power of great shields. Ooh, that hit me anyways. Alright, we've had enough fun. Let's kill him now. Sporific grease. Ooh. Did you forget how this playthrough started, young grafted scion? There we go. That felt nice. Alright, so we found some sword. I say it's so weird. I have a hard time. It's one of them words. One of them word things. It's all the way over here. I'm going to try it. I'm going to say the word. I'm going to do it. Alright. Soporific. Yeah, soporific grease. Soporific grease. Sleepy time grease. And let's look at the scavenger sword that we found. Unique curved sword notched like a shark's teeth. Weapon carried by corpse pillagers who prowl the sites of old battles. The blade is tacky with blood and covered in hefty nicks, making it totally uneven. Life can be sinister indeed. Well, take a look at what it looks like physically. And it looks like it may not have always been that way, honestly. Just looking at the start of the blade, it might have had a nice edge. It might have been a nice curved sword at one point. In fact, if we look at it... Oh, it's hard to see. We have to basically one-hand it. Yeah, the grip looks like a statue. So it may have not been a scavenger's weapon at one point in time. Ironic, or rather... in character, a scavenger scavenged this sword, and it had a different purpose initially. Alright. Let's head back up and face destiny. It keeps doing that. I don't know why it does double input every now and then. I don't know if it's my controller or just the game. But occasionally it does a double input when I'm switching items, and when you do that, it switches it to nothing at all. I don't know if I'm pressing the button too long or what have you, but... So we work our way up here, and we see some banners. And ladders we can go up. We're going to explore a little bit. They all lead to the same place, but the one on the left has some stuff that's a little more interesting, in my opinion. Oh, you can't parry that thing. Whew. Alright. So there's a bunch of marionettes showing Reichert's connection to the Academy, essentially, since they seem to be in opposition, in a sense, to the Lanedale Knights below. I'm not sure if that's true of all of these enemies here. The Grafted Scion's allegiances are definitely a little bit confusing. Maybe the grouping of enemies is just to show how many people participate in the Shattering, since one of the worst battles of the Shattering was supposed to happen here on, or was supposed to have happened here on Mount Gelmir. So maybe the there isn't a necessary alliance that we're seeing, but we see the Virgin, the Abductor Virgins representing Volcano Manor. We see the puppets representing the Academy. We see the Grafted Scion representing Godric. And then Lanedale soldiers, of course, representing Lanedale. Well, I am just riddled with arrows. I guess I did this to myself. But if we head this way, we can see them execute this poor man unjustly. What a horrible way to go. Kind of like me, but less resilient. I identify with that dead Lanedale soldier lying there who just got filled with arrows. Lots of sacramental buds, sacramental bugs, sacramental buds, and volcanic. Oh, what is wrong? Volcanic stone. I think I said that right, but my brain said it was wrong. Doesn't matter too much. Let's head up here. It's another one of these Metal Gear Solid 3 super long ladders. Not as tall as Metal Gear Solid 3. That one's ridiculous. Oh, that's an item. I'll come back for it, actually. I don't know what it is. Oh, but the curiosity. So if you go up the ladder on the left,
welcome.
You find a merchant.
Dear customer. Yes, right this way. Right this way.
Don't ask me how he got his donkey up here. I don't know how he did it. It's just this little landing in between two sets of ladders.
Welcome, valued customer. Come, trade in our wandering emporium. Please, buy something. I'm hungry. I've been hungry so long. Please?
So, he's hungry. Does he eat the runes? Do the runes satiate hunger, perhaps? And we can make volcano pots and roast volcano pots from this cookbook he gives us. Or, not gives us, we buy from him. Guilty hood, coarse hood, cloak, of olive brown, the garb of those accused of lesser crimes indicated by the color of sharpened branches. And we've seen the hood of the guilty before. It was on bodies throughout Limgrave that were tied to those strangely curved crosses. They were wearing this hood, if you recall. The guilty hood item description was a bit different in version 1.0 of the game, the release unpatched version of the game. And it read at that time, garb of the tarnished who were forced into slavery in the lands between. The tarnished have been wandering into the lands between from beyond the sea of fog in drib and drabs since times of old. Most are killed on arrival, but the few unlucky survivors are taken as slaves. Since times of old, so kind of an interesting concept there, that tarnished have been going to the lands between for a long time, and those that weren't the few unlucky survivors are taken as slaves, and it seems others are killed on arrival, and perhaps a third group exists, those who were put up on the crosses, or maybe those were the ones that were killed. However, we hear moaning and upset noises from those on the crosses, so perhaps they aren't dead. And we also find the Confessor set. Black hood for blending in with the darkness, worn by church confessors. The churches outside the lands between, dedicated to the teachings of the Two Fingers, send confessors out to follow the guidance of grace. The confessors are loyal servants of the Two Fingers, ready to hunt down and quickly dispose of their enemies. Yeah. And they all say essentially the same thing, with the introductory phrases being a little bit different. Black leather armor for blending in with the darkness. We're going to grab them. And we also find explosive great bolts and regular ballista bolts that we can buy to our heart's content. And you betcha bottom dollar I'm going to grab a whole bunch of these. And we'll buy another 20 of these. But now, if we were to start using the hand ballista again, we would have explosive bolts, which are far more useful and far more damaging. That's all we have to do with this fellow. So let's depart over here. Normally, I would just head up that ladder there. But we're going to jump down here first, because we saw that item on the way up. And I can't help it. It's great arrows. Oh, he just fell from that pole, it sounds like. Is that it? I think that's it. Alright, let's head up. I fear the double archer shooting me in the back while I'm on the ladder and knocking me off. It's a very probable thing to happen. Oh, I never upgraded Bloodhound Night Flow. I need to do that. We'll do that at some point. Alright, so when we get up here, there's one more ladder up, and we see a handful of these puppet boys all about the place. Ooh, I don't know why that parry worked so quick so early. That looked weird. But I guess he had an active hitbox ready. Okay, is that it? Alright, here we are. And we're going to make a couple volcano pots so I can show off what they look like. Because I have not done that. Alright. No problems here. Just some stuff to grab. Many ladders. Can you imagine trying to get armies up these ladders? There seems to be fortifications, and every time there's fortifications, it makes me think they're Lanedells, but maybe they just captured them. And here we see yellow embers, which are the sign of madness. We do have a Madness Knight over here. And he can scream. There we go. I was actually trying to not get the crit, but... And that one can shoot fire. Oh, I almost had it. I should have just gone for 2. I knew it. I knew it in my heart of hearts, but I wanted it so badly. Nope, he's doing the fire burst. So is he. It's popular. The volcano pots scale with strength and they hit repeatedly. They're okay. Their best use, in my opinion, is knocking people off of ladders in PvP. However, early game, because their damage doesn't scale a whole lot, if you're like sub-level 20, volcano pots do really good damage to other players, in my experience. They hit repeatedly, they do decent damage, they can knock people off ladders. They're a good pick, all in all. So over here, we have a sword monument all the way up here. Oh, God, imagine carting those materials all the way up here just to make this. What a chore. And it gets worse because this isn't just a wraparound over there that leads to Volcano Manor. No, no. You have to go up yet another narrow ladder up there that leads to this plateau. And then from the plateau, you jump across some gaps to get to Volcano Manor. So they couldn't have come up it from the other direction. Let's read this nonetheless. The assault on Volcano Manor, the squalid, the sick, the blasphemous, a wretched, unending war with no glory. And given even the frenzied flame had a little bit of a hand in what happened here. Or maybe they just afflicted people in the aftermath. Not certain. But still, lots of different parties are involved here. A horrible, unending conflict. So we're going to grab this side of grace here. And then we're going to backtrack. And this is the 9th Mount Gelmir campsite to rival the 1st Mount Gelmir campsite. So, in theory, there are a whole slew of at least 7 other campsites that we don't know about. I can't think of another Grace off the top of my head that has another name like that, so seems interesting. Up here, we even have a couple more demi-humans all the way up here. Some poison grease. Those ones are enraged with their red eyes. But we're just heading into the cave. We're gonna ignore them. Yeah, I don't think they entered the cave proper. But we can sit down here. And memorize spell. And let's get our flavorful starlight spell back. As I go past it in my inventory. He attacks so slow. Come on, give it another go. Wow. I'm flubbing it every time. Come on. Oh my goodness. This is so embarrassing. Oh, come on. There we go. They're almost not worth parrying for how difficult they are. Oh, goodness. Well, I did say I would play with the other ashes, so let's actually peek out of here really fast. Oh, he's angry at us. Alright. Head back to this Lost Grace. Round table hold. We'll upgrade flow really fast so we can... Actually, do we even have enough mana for flow? We should. 95. I forget, I leveled mana a little bit on this character. I don't on most. Here, our maximum FP is 26. Or 126.
Greet, are you here for...
Yeah, we're here for spirit tuning. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll leave him at 5. Alright. Now we can go all the way back to the volcano cave. Woo! And we can do that first room again, and I can not go for parries because it's a bad idea for me. Or so it seems. It's greatsword time. It's war crimes time. Ooh. The war crimes hurt me too. They also hurt the frame rate a lot. Alright. So if I recall... Yeah, we want to get over there. Specifically that drop-down point. The other caves are but an illusion. Because if we go down this specific one, we get more rewards. So we get this item. Golden rune number 6, of course. None too scary since they spend so much time yelling. I remember we dropped down over here intentionally. Glowstone. Yeah, because of this side cavern specifically. It's like he didn't see us. And we get the coil shield. Very cool, you're wondering to yourself. What's the coil shield? What's this silly thing? It's got a snake head. Let me get to a better angle. Yeah, see? It got a snaky on it. Looks like it's made out of a lightly textured bronze, or sorry, copper that has rusted. Let's read its description. Armament designed for gladiatorial combat, rises above its peers as a particularly showy specimen. The sculpted bronze snake is a poisonous breed, boosting the wielder's resistance to poison. Unique skill, Viper Bite. Give the shield a quick shake to temporarily bring the bronze viper to life, inciting it to lash out and bite foes. Gross and spooky. But we're going to use it because it sounds silly. I'd just start using this for the rest of the game as my shield and my offhand, completely out of character. It would be funny, even if only to me. We're gonna see if we can do it to this guy. Oh, yeah, he's poisoned already. If I recall, it's a deadly poison. Chieftains aren't too spooky when you have a solid weapon. And it's nice that I can get all this strength scaling for it and then buff it with magic. It gives me that tasty 160 bonus magic damage. Alright. We can do the dungeon boss now. And we still have a solid 7 or so minutes. We might get to Volcano Manor after all. Okay. Yeah. Oh. And oh wow, it was after one bite that it got poisoned. Whew, Bloodhound Nightflow does bleeds. And often by the looks of it. Whew. Give it an old frost. Ooh, what a way to go. Demi-Human Queen Margot. And we get the Jar Cannon, which is much like the Hand Ballista, except for it's just stronger. And look. It shoots the same ballista bolts somehow. It's got this interesting design on it. Almost looks snake-like. Makes you wonder who used this. Let's read its description. Jar Cannon, which uses explosive fire great bolts. Deals great damage, but is slow to reload. Experimental firearm brought to the assault on Volcano Manor, where it was discovered that no one knew how to use it. That's really funny to me. So I'm guessing Langdell brought it because it's a jar, it's a pot. It just reminds me of the perfumers in that sense. It feels like a weapon they would come up with, but then they didn't send a perfumer with them to operate it. So, kind of silly. Well, let's head to the 9th Mount Gelmir campsite, and I think I'm going to try to fight the enemy that's up there with the little snake shield. This sounds silly to me. And you know what? I think Bloodhound Nightflow might get around 2, unless I can think of somebody better. Not particularly. Yeah. Nobody comes to mind. You just kind of want somebody who can survive. We'll bring Battle Mage Hughes. That'll be silly. Alright, I'm going to bring a very specific and probably bad setup. But I want to. And it sounds fun to me, so we're going to do it. Okay. This is not what my build's meant to do at all. So normally you could climb that and have a miserable time of things, because at the top you wouldn't have a moment to prepare yourself. However, we are doing single player, which means we can ride on Torrent and just jump up here. And sure enough, here we see a mature Falling Star Beast. It's got a skull coming out of its head there. Very reminiscent of the Falling Star, what are they? The evil space earwigs we've seen holding onto the ceiling with their big old pincers. If you look at the skull there, you can see that it's got this eyeball coming out of the forehead of the skull, and just under that blue dot are the eye holes. Hopefully you get a chance to see that. Yeah, there's a face there. I'm so glad I have access to my horse here so I can get in and out of the fight. Ooh. Alright. We're going to let him charge his 3 times, because he charges, well, 3 times for this particular attack. Summon Battle Mage Hughes, which takes our whole mana bar just about. That broke Battle Mage Hughes' posture real fast. Well, we got him once with the little shield. Oh, I thought I mashed roll for that. Oh, and he's poisoned. What a mistake. But you can rot this thing. Elemental damage is probably far superior, but I felt like trying. So poison's not the most effective by any means. But I wanted to show off that you could, even though he's a bunch of rocks. He is also beast. Alright. That's enough fooling around. I don't think I'm going to worry too much more about getting poison off on him. Phew, that didn't work. Battle Mage Hughes is gonna eat it if I'm not careful. Oh. Kills Battle Mage Hughes. Feels bad. Whew. Gonna keep rushing around him. Oh, he's gonna do his big old beam attack. Maybe magic's not the best bet. I'm trying to remember what element was good against him, and I think it's fire or lightning at this point. But I think elements are better than physical by a mile. Well, we're not going to not take that. Gives us a chance to look at his skull eye. Weird thing. Well. Oh, it's so delayed. Oh, he got us in the gravity attack. And it does a big old grab of damage. Ooh. That's not what I wanted. Goodness. Didn't want to rely on these, but they're coming in handy. Is he mad? Is he mad that we're cheating? He might be a little mad. Oh, are you kidding me? Cut it to the wire, didn't I? And we get Somber Smithing Stone 6, Smithing Stone 6 times 5, and the Falling Star Beast Jaw. So let's read that thing's item description. And then we will cut there. But next time is Volcano Manor. We made it. We've already looted that area over there. There's a little sapling, Erd Tree sapling over there. And then just the way to Volcano Manor. So, we did it. Let's look at the Falling Star Beast Jaw. Which, sure enough, it looks like one of his mandibles. Big old rocky, craggy looking thing. And it has that ability. It works much like Thunderbolt in principle. But it is a ranged projectile that causes rocks to jut up from below the enemy. And it does really good poise damage. And it is a strength int weapon. It probably gets a little more physical damage from the dex than the int, but it's a strength weapon essentially with an int requirement. Well, that's it for episode 90. Oh, its description. Right. Part of a Falling Star Beast Jaw, hard and shining black, fashioned into a weapon. With its sharp point, this colossal weapon can skewer foes, and sure enough, it is a colossal weapon that does piercing damage, so you also get the counter hit damage, making it an even better hit. It's probably because of its sheer weight, but I'm surprised I haven't seen people dual-wielding these so they could get piercing and jump attack builds together. But that would be a huge weight requirement. That is a very heavy choice. But next time, Volcano Manor. And look, they have a pool for lava. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye now.